What is up, you guys? So my baby's in the background and he's gonna be making a little bit of noise, so hopefully that's not too distracting. But I haven't made a video in 2 weeks. Christmas a couple of Fridays ago, and then this last Friday we've had a lot going on in our family. So this is my first video in 2 weeks and I'm glad to be back. This one is going to be short and to the point, and it's going to be about the 4-month sleep regression that little Dangy is currently experiencing. So he's back here just loving life. Observing the ceiling is one of his favorite things to do. So I'm going to talk briefly about what's going on with the 4-month sleep regression and how it's affected us, and reference this book, which is The Wonder Weeks, where it talks about around 19 weeks a baby enters leap 4, which is the world of events. So if you're familiar with this book or you're not, basically what it is there's a calendar. It's really cool where you can kind of track when your baby is approaching a new mental leap, so a new period of like hyper development. And it's preceded with a stormy period where the baby is, clingy and crying, and the sleep patterns change and all sorts of things happen. And that can give you a really good indicator of, okay, the baby is going to be entering a new leap. And after the leap, the baby is really happy and it's wonderful. And so that's represented by the cloud with the sun. So there's the little gray bar with the stormy cloud. So you can literally put this up to your calendar and track what phase your baby's in. And it's just really nice because it gives you some perspective as a parent of like, okay, so am I going insane? Is the baby ill, or is this like a normal developmental milestone? So basically, we weren't really like, I wasn't following this book super by the book. I had read it kind of religiously at first, and then I sort of, I don't know, you just get caught up in like the day-to-day of like being a new parent in the first place. And a few of them that I read, he wasn't exactly like, it didn't seem like it was on the mark, but this one is definitely on the mark. And I've been Googling a lot lately because he's been going through so many different kind of behaviors, that it was like, okay, I feel like I kind of just forgot. I was like, oh my God, it's leap 4. So I have some notes here in my phone, and I just want to refer to them so I stay on track. So basically, with the Wonder Weeks, you calculate this calendar based on when your baby's due date was. So Danger was 2 weeks late. So he is approaching 16 weeks. On Sunday, he'll be exactly 4 months old. And so realistically, according to the Wonder Weeks, he's actually 18 weeks because his brain, obviously at the 40-week mark, he was full term. He was ready to be born. But he stayed in there for another 2 weeks. Didn't you, Pooey? Yeah. So his brain is basically the brain of an 18-week baby, even though he's about to be 16 weeks. So that's how you kind of line that up. And the leap 4 happens around 19 weeks. So if he's approaching in 2 days, he's going to be at his 18th week. He's in his stormy week right now. So what are some things that happen in the 4-month sleep regression? Obviously, the sleep patterns change. So for him, he has been napping way less during the day. He was napping for like 4 or 5 hours in one block. And now it's like lucky if he's down for 2 hours. A lot of times he's down for 30 minutes and he's up again. So that's been really, really different. And then in the nighttime, he is waking up like every hour or two, which he really never did. He would always sleep for at least 2 to 3 hours, sometimes 4. So the less naps during the day coupled with the frequent waking in the evening or overnight, that's definitely been a lot. Combined with some other aspects of it are fussiness, and then crying when you try to put him down. And this is really, really hard because, your arm gets tired. My husband was saying actually today that carrying him around so much, it's like he feels like he's worked out in that one arm because he just can't put him down. Like you put him down, he's crying. And that can only be tolerated for so long. So it's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just like break my back and my limbs and carry this baby around nonstop. So fussiness, crying when put down, refusing the bottle. So I went back to work at 6 weeks. So I don't work 80 hours out of the home or 40 hours out of the home. It's more like 20, sometimes a little less. So it's really great because I get a lot of time with him at home when I work remotely. But I do have to go out of the house. So I have 2 days where they're a little longer, and then I have 2 evenings that I'm away for a few hours. So we have bottles, and we've given him a bottle since 6 weeks, and he was always really fast to take to the bottle. There was no issues with the bottle. But lately, last couple of weeks actually, he's been struggling to drink from the bottle. So it's obviously frustrating for my husband because he's like, he doesn't want to eat. And then he basically will just wait until I get home to eat. And if he's hungry, obviously he's fussy, he's not happy, but why isn't he taking the bottle? Like, it was just this really like stressful thing. Like, he's been using these bottles since the beginning. We tried a different bottle. We tried the milk warmer, cooler, different positions. I actually just tried to give him a bottle today when I was at getting my oil changed, and he did not want to take the bottle. So definitely a thing. Waking up more frequently in the night, napping way less in the daytime, and then to top it all off, he's been having teething signs. So that's drooling, a lot of excessive saliva, and then of course like mowing on everything that he can get in his mouth, his little fist. He's got this cute little crinkly pizza. It's really cute. And it has a little gummy thing on here. So just really anything. His little burp cloth, his blankets, like anything that he can get in his mouth, he wants to chew on. And then the drooling. And he did have one night where he was inconsolable for about 4 hours, screaming. And that, I think at that point, I hadn't realized like, oh, he's in a stormy week. Oh, we're approaching this 4-month sleep regression. We were just like, oh my God, what is going on? Like, we've literally tried everything and he's just we can't console him. And he literally would not let me lay down, and put him beside me. So I was holding him, and my husband as well. A number of times he would fall asleep on us, and then we'd go to put him down, and then he'd just be screaming again. So it was like really stressful. That was a very stressful night. And thus far, he's been a very, very chill baby for the most part. I mean, I feel like I've had it really easy. We've had it really easy. Like I said, he was sleeping from the beginning, like really well, napping really well. He loves the car. He's a happy baby. He's always smiling, right, please? And then so in the last like week or so, it's just been like a bomb went off. And some other things I just wanted to sort of touch on real quick about just how it's been going in terms of like working. So like I said, I do work full time, but a big portion of that is remotely, but that still means I have to be on the phone, emails, texts, working on administrative stuff. So I'm still working when I'm at home. And then my husband works 45 hours out of the home, completely out of the home, no remote work. So we've managed to balance the schedules where, you know, when he's going to work, I'm at home. When he comes home, I'm going to work. So we're basically like ships passing in the night. So that's been a little bit challenging. At first it just was like, oh my God, I'm so excited we made this work with our schedules. And I think we were both sort of like stoked on just the fact that we were making it work and we don't have to pay for daycare. But I think now in the last couple of weeks, coupled with this now new fussy stage, it's been hard because we can't even, I mean, today I had to leave at 3:30 and he was literally getting home at 3:25. So it's like, bye. And then obviously you can talk on the phone and stuff, but when he's at work, he can't really talk on the phone. So it's kind of like calling on my drive to work, but he's also just needing to like change out of his work clothes before he gets handed the baby. So that has been a lot. I still am super grateful for the fact that we don't have to pay for daycare, or any kind of childcare. So that's amazing. Another thing that's been difficult is, so we have a second room and we had a mattress in there, and it was for a family member that might need to stay the night. And Sean ended up sleeping in there on the days when he had to work early in the morning because, you know, the baby's up and chattering or crying. and he wouldn't be able to get a good sleep. And I said, well, why don't you just sleep in there on the nights that you have to, or the days you have to be up at like 5. So it somehow got to the point where he was sleeping in there every single night. And we were sleeping in this king size bed, him where he is right now, and me on the other side of the bed. Because, you know, I don't know how you feel about co-sleeping, but I feel fine about co-sleeping if I can be far enough away from him where there's no risk of my blankets getting on him or a pillow going over his head or me rolling over to him. I really don't think I could ever actually physically roll onto him and not know. That would just be insane. But what I've noticed is when you're laying on the bed and there's another adult and that's 2 heavy weights and then he's here, it's like he's rolling towards that weight, right? Where the bed is lowered, it's at an angle. So it can be risky. So you really have to make sure you're far enough away from him and there's no blankets around him. Even his little burp cloth, a few times he's put the burp cloth over his face just by playing with it, like not at night, just on the bed like we are right now. And I've had to snatch it off his face and it's really kind of scary. So when he was sleeping in the other room, we really spread out in this king size bed. And if you can see, he has a bassinet. See that? So he has a bassinet and it's pulled right up to the bed. So it is amazing because I can literally just like in the middle of the night when he starts to cry, I can literally lean over, slide him out of that and side lay breastfeed him. And then slide him back in. But with this whole sleep regression situation, he hasn't wanted to go back in there. And that coupled with the fact that he's been sleeping in the bed kind of like all night because we have the room. So recent development, and I'm going to wrap this up. My husband's 2 children, Abigail and Aiden, love them. They're amazing. They came to stay with us for about 6 months. We're hoping more, but 6 months is the first sort of step. And we only have a 2-bedroom apartment, and they're 14 and 13. So that spare bedroom is no longer a spare bedroom anymore. My husband now has to sleep with us no matter if he has to wake up at 5 a.m. the next day anyways. So there's just been a lot going on, a lot of changes. And the little baby, he's champing through it. We are champing through it. But I just wanted to kind of touch on this and how it has been really tough kind of dealing with his fussy stage around the leap 4 or leading up to what they call the magical leap. So I won't talk too much about the magical leap itself because we haven't got there yet and he's getting a little fussy at this point. But yeah, trying to balance working out, eating healthy, going to work, being home and working, taking care of the baby, and then being like ships passing in the night, along with the 13 and the 14-year-old come in to live in our small little apartment. It has been a lot, but I'm still here, still going to be making videos on Fridays. I was doing Tuesdays and Fridays, but it just, I think realistically, just stick to 1 a week. So you'll be seeing me Fridays. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe. Thanks again. I'll see you next time. All right, bye.